Here's a lot of unsolved mysteries, but only a few can chill you to the bone. Here's a collection of some of the world's creepiest unsolved mysteries that are going to give you real chills. The Faces of Belms.
The appearance of strange human faces in Belms began on August 23, 1971, when Maria Gomez Camara, wife of Juan Pereira and a housemaker, complained that a human face was formed on her concrete kitchen floor. Her husband destroyed the picture with a pickaxe only to have it reappear on the floor. The mayor of Belms prohibited the destruction of the image, and instead the concrete floor was cut and taken for study. For the next 30 years, the Pereira family claimed that faces continued to appear of both male and female and of different shapes and sizes. Later, when the floor of the house was dug, it was found to contain the remains of humans. It was speculated that a graveyard existed underneath the house.
The Pollock twins. In 1957, two sisters, Joanna, 11, and Jacqueline, 6, Pollock were killed in a tragic car accident. A year later, their mother gave birth to twins, Jennifer and Jillian. Then it gets weird. Jennifer, the younger twin, had scars and birthmarks on her body that were identical to Jacqueline's, the younger deceased sister. The twins began to ask for toys that had belonged to the deceased girl's toys they had no knowledge of. They stated one day that they wanted to go to a park they'd never been to before, but Joanna and Jacqueline had. In one instance, their mother watched them play a game in which Jennifer laid on the floor with her head in Jillian's lap, pretending that she was dying. Her sister said, "The blood's coming out of your eyes. That's where the car hit you." But their parents hadn't discussed the accident with the girls ever. This led psychologist Dr. Ian Stevenson to conclude that it was likely the twins were reincarnations of their sisters. Apparently, at age 5, the odd behavior stopped along with any sign that they were connected to their departed sisters, and Jennifer and Jillian grew up as normal, happy kids. The Phantom Girl. During the digitization of a series of photographs that dated back to the early 1900s, the authority of Krasnoyarsk Regional Museum in Siberia found this mystical tiny girl in around 20 different images and in 4 glass negatives. The startling thing was that the little girl is always dressed in white, standing in the same position with the same expression on her face, and always she occupies a discrete position in the photographs. Her dress and boots change, but her demeanor is always the same. Although she is suspected to be related to the photographer, no one has yet come forward to identify the mysterious young girl. The Strange Case of Walter Summerford. A man named Walter Summerford was struck by lightning 3 times in his life. After his death, his gravestone was also struck. Is this just a coincidence? The Strange Story of a Teacher, Emily Sagi. Before teaching at a French school for girls, Emily Sagi had taught at 18 different schools and had been fired from each one because of the strange events that seemed to follow her. Emily Sagi had the incredible power of being seen at 2 places at once. Students would often report seeing her in class with other students claiming they had seen her walking down the hall at the same time. On one occasion, as she taught with her back to her students, her doppelganger appeared beside her. 2 murders in 157 years. Barbara Forrest and Mary Ashford were both 20 years old, shared the same birth dates, were raped then strangled to death. 6 both bodies were found 300 yards from each other. Their deaths not only occurred in the same exact manner but also happened on the same day. Incidentally, both women had just got done visiting a friend that evening. Then each changed into a new dress for had gone to an dance. Presumably meeting their litters, by the name of Thorman. Same killer? Nope. These killings happened on May 27, 1817 and 1974, exactly 157 years apart. The disappearance of Jim Sullivan. Musician Jim Sullivan recorded an album in 1969 called UFO with cryptic lyrics about desert highways and strange lights. 6 years later he disappeared without a trace, his car abandoned on the desert road. The Annabelle doll. While at the Warren Occult Museum, 2 people tried to taunt Annabelle, calling it to be fake. Both of them mysteriously died within next 2 days. Even an anonymous man wanted to give $2 million for the doll, but the curator has denied giving the doll to anyone at any cost.